I love high school delinquent anime. High school delinquent anime is one of those subgenres that I've always just had a fascination towards because it deals with the more impolite side of Japanese culture. You know, and a lot of the perspective you get of Japan from the West is that everyone there is very polite, very kind, very introverted, not very bombastic, right? And delinquent anime gives you a look into the opposite side of that here. People who don't conform to that societal norm. But there's something freeing about that in a way. And this anime here, Bucchigiri, is another amazing entry into the delinquent genre. But this is a 2024 anime that just came out from Studio Mappa and created by Hiroko Yutsumi, who you may be familiar with from the previous anime they've done where they directed Free, Banana Fish, and most importantly, Skate the Infinity, another anime I've covered previously on this channel. Bucchigiri is their latest show that they are the original creator of. This is an anime original series. And if you liked or enjoyed Skate the Infinity, then Bucchigiri is a very natural progression because it's all about this high school of delinquents. It bases around Arajin, who is a new transfer student that's just moved into town, but he's actually lived in this town before. He had lived here and gone to elementary school here when he was younger, moved away for a few years, and now he's back to attend high school. But he quickly finds out that his high school is filled with delinquents and is not the most well run. Now Arajin has one goal in mind, and that's to lose his virginity, which he quickly finds the person he wants to lose it to, which is Maharu, the only woman in the entire class, or really in the entire school. So Arajin immediately sets his sights on her and asks her out for a date, which she, strangely enough, accepts. Even though Arajin is a bit of a weirdo, she seems a little into it, so she's like, okay, we can give it a try. Now, before he goes on the date, though, he gets chased around by the many delinquents in his school because it's a bit of a rough school and everyone in it has basically formed themselves into two competing gangs. There's the members of Minato, who you can tell from the blue armbands that they all wear, and then there's the Sigma Squad, who has a more of a greenish, yellowish color style to them, and they all have the same little S necklace that they wear. There's also a third rival gang in town called the NG Boys, who go to a different preppier school and have a more preppier vibe to them here. They all wear gray uniforms, and it's these assholes who chase Arajin into a nearby shrine as they try to shake him down for some money. In that shrine, though, he finds a flintlock pistol that he attempts to use to defend himself, but when he fires it, the bullet ricochets and hits him in his head. Thinking they've all witnessed some bizarre accidental suicide, the NG boys all leave, and Arajin is left to wake up and find a bullet lodged into the side of his head that when he rubs it, a genie pops out named Senya, or as he likes to call himself, a honky person. Senya isn't actually a genie at all. He doesn't grant wishes or anything like that. He's styled to look like that because the show has a very Middle Eastern Arabian Nights style to it, which I'm going to talk about that a little later. I enjoy that. But he is a honky person. He is someone who loves fighting, never backs down from a fight, someone who has a lot of skill, strength. It is like the ideal form of a masculine man is basically what a honky person is, right? Arajin is not happy with this turn of events because Senya is someone with a lot of energy. He's very boisterous, very strong, and he wants to motivate Arajin to self-improvement and to get muscles and, to fight and to hold his own against everyone else who's in this school. Arajin is not interested in that at all. He wants to be more of the cool type of person. He doesn't meet that stereotype at all. He's very far from it, but he wants to be a cool type player guy who can get with anyone that he wants. Again, very far from that, but that's his ideal. His first step on that, though, is actually going on a date with Maharu, which doesn't seem to go very well because she is not interested in him the entire time they're walking around. And that's for a pretty good reason, because the only person Maharu actually has eyes for is her older brother, because this is anime, so of course there's like an older brother or younger sister obsession thing. I don't get why this is an anime, I don't understand it, but here it is, another one of that trope. Now, Marito is a crazy person and the leader of this Sigma Squad, one of those big two gangs in Arajin's school. And as the leader of the Sigma Squad, he is incredibly tough and beats the shit out of Arajin, who, again, as you can tell, pretty scrawny dude, no ability to fight whatsoever. That is until Senya tells Arajin to speak out his greatest wish so that they can merge and he can briefly give some of his immense power to Arajin to help defend himself. With no other option left, Arajin begrudgingly agrees and shouts out his one greatest wish to lose his virginity, and then gets immense power to punch Marito and send him flying, which is something that Marito had not experienced in so long. And the one thing that Marito loves is fighting. After this brief display of immense strength, both the gangs are desperate for him to join. Minato leading the charge for Sigma, just becoming enamored with Arajin, calling him Aratin, and he just wants him in his gang so badly. While from Minato's side, Matakara, Arajin's childhood friend, is leading the charge trying to get him to join, just because he wants to be around his friend again. But Arajin has an immediate and strong aversion to his childhood friend, not wanting to be around Matakara even though he's developed into being such a tall, handsome, and strong man. He doesn't want to be around him at all. He doesn't want anything to do with him just because of some things that happened in the past that you'll find out later. But the anime then follows Arajin on his quest for love, the quest to figure out what's going on with Senya, why he has like a hunky person inside of him, his relationship with Matakara and their past together, and just his relationship with all the colorful, weird characters around the school and the rivaling gangs. This is a funny, colorful, bombastic delinquent anime with its own style and setting unlike anything that I have seen in such a long time outside of Skate the Infinity. I mentioned before this was animated by Mappa, and they bring consistent level quality to all of the fights in this series. This is a delinquent anime that centers itself around a lot of actual hand-to-hand combat, and the hand-to-hand combat in here is consistently engaging throughout all the 12 episodes. I love everything that they do in this. There's never a fight that feels dull. There's never a moment where I feel like they're taking a back seat or not going full force on this. There is still that high level of quality. It's not insane levels of Jujutsu Kaisen kind of shit, but you wouldn't really expect that from an anime like this here. It doesn't really need something like that. I also want to give high praise to the character designs. The character designs are immaculate throughout this series, especially if we're talking about the gangs here. Like, Marito's design is so ridiculous and flamboyant, as opposed to the rival gang leader Kenichiro, who is a much more stoic, strong, burly type. And I love both their designs and the way that their designs reflect the attitudes and stylings of their gangs. The colors in this are absolutely vibrant, and I love this setting of a coastal seaside Japanese town that doesn't really feel a lot like Japan, which you can also see them doing this kind of setting in Okinawa in Skate the Infinity. This is not Okinawa, but it is still trying to go for that same vibe where everything is bright, sunny, laid back. You can just feel that infused with the characters and the color that spreads all throughout this anime. Now, with all of that going for it here, with all the praise that I've heaped on this anime, with this being from one of the biggest studios out there right now, one of the most popular studios around in Mappa, with it looking so clean and colorful and fun as it is, you may be surprised to know that this was not a very popular anime. Just for some reason, people didn't grab onto this here, and one of the big reasons for that is likely Arajin himself. Our main character is not your typical, a character who I want to be like, a character who I aspire to, someone who has a strong sense of morals or anything like that. Arajin is not that at all. He's more of a dirtbag. Like, his entire life goal is to lose his virginity, and he has no care at all for his former best friend. He is a little bit of a piece of shit, and he's also really annoying and crude, and you may think to yourself, well, why would I want to watch a show like that with a main character who's not very likable? And that's because it's funny. Okay? The type of humor that you get from Bucchigiri is not modern type anime humor. Arajin himself actually reminds me a lot more of the main character from Yutsura Yatsura, Ataru, who is also just a total piece of shit coward who is womanizing all the time and has no care for any of the people in his life. Arajin is a lot like that, and it's supposed to be character growth for Arajin, growing and changing, finding a way to have courage and being a more respectable person. You're not supposed to love Arajin, not as he is right now. He's supposed to be kind of annoying, and if that's going to be a problem for you, then you may not enjoy this anime. And I mean, in this anime, you do have characters who are more stereotypically main characters, like Matakara. In most series, Matakara would be the main character because he is someone who is very virtuous, very kind, very helpful and proactive, trying to keep his friends together, trying to make friendships and build up the people around him. He would be the main character in most situations, but because he's not, you have a more interesting aspect into Arajin's life, Arajin's perspective, and also the outside perspective of Matakara and the struggles that he's going through. And I really love that in particular, but one other aspect of this show that I was really drawn to, and that if you're familiar with this also, you may be drawn to it as well, but the relationship between Senya and Arajin reminds me a lot of in Fate Zero, the relationship between Iskander and Waver, who had this very similar dynamic where you have the big dumb himbo in Senya or in Iskander, and the more wimpy, whiny, complainy character in Waver or Arajin. There's also a lot of other similarities, like the big buff himbo being the entire reason that this group has any kind of power or strength, or the fact that they operate more as motivational imaginary friends more than anything else. But I love this dynamic. I loved it in Fate Zero. They're one of my favorite characters from that anime, and I love it here too. And if you love that, then you should definitely watch Bucchigiri, because it has a lot of those types of relationships and those kind of dynamics and that type of humor, right? I feel like there's also a lot of older, more slapstick anime humor in this, and your mileage may vary on that, but I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it all the way through. And as the series grows and progresses, our characters grow and progress, and it's interesting to see the twists and turns the story takes from there. Also, this is a 12-episode anime. It's an anime, original anime, so that you actually get a satisfying conclusion at the end. Like, if you want just a full package anime that does something a little different while still having a lot of fun fight scenes, then this is absolutely an anime you should check out. There's a lot of things here to love. I can understand why in the first few episodes some people might tune out of it because they don't like Arajin, and if you don't like those kind of characters, then there's not a lot you can do about that, especially in the beginning. But this is a show worth sticking around for. I loved it so much. And if you love anime with big dumb himbos, especially himbos who like fighting each other and are very attractive and hot, then there's a lot of hot anime men in this anime for you to simp over as well. There's so many ways you could find to enjoy this type of anime, and I think it's frustrating that people aren't giving it a chance. So while this was never going to be the most popular anime of the season, it is one of the ones that I had the most attraction towards, the one that I was looking forward to the most. I mean, there was Frieren and Apothecary Diaries, but this is my fun one. This is the one that I felt like I had so much personal engagement in. For my tastes, this is amazing. And I think you should all really check this out. Bucchigiri is an anime that deserves support, it deserves some love, and it deserves people talking about it. I love the OP, I love the ED, I love the slight Arabian Nights theme to it. I love the mixing of cultures and character designs that they bring here, the variety of people that you have in this type of anime, and I think it's one that everyone should just give a shot because it is fun. There's a lot of good things in it, and I think it's an anime that I want to see more of. I love this creator. Hiroko Atsumi, between Skate the Infinity and Bucchigiri, is just hitting on the type of anime that I want to see more of. And if you want to see more of this as well, if you like Skate the Infinity, then you should give this a shot also. One other thing that I'll mention here, just because it is a consistent theme throughout all of her work, but if you also like guys who are, you know, having strong emotional relationship with other guys, and maybe that relationship could possibly be interpreted in some kind of romantic way, but maybe could not be, who knows? There's also something along those lines going on here as well. I mean, there's a lot of innuendo and a lot of jokes, and they do bring up the fact that Senya and Arajin want to merge a lot, and the merging and how great merging feels, and how it's something that everyone aspires to, and how everyone just wants to merge. Do you get the subtext? Do you get what joke is going on here? Anyway, I love this anime. I highly recommend it, while also recognizing that I have a bias towards delinquent anime and anime with just a bunch of goofy himbos. So give this anime a shot and stick around for more anime reviews. I have a lot more reviews on anime that came out this past season coming, so be sure to subscribe, like this video if you liked it, comment if you have any of your own thoughts, if you tried Bucchigiri, what you thought, if you could handle Arajin's characterness, you know, tell me what you think here. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you have a great day, a great night, or whatever it is you're having, and stay rad.